I was like, oh, I'll just sip on this. And immediately all of the jitters and the anxiety from having too much caffeine melted. And I was like, what just happened? What the fuck just happened?
Love that.
And that's when I actually looked and I was starting to, I had done a little research on the ingredients, but I underestimated what I thought the product was and how I thought I would feel. The world has taught us some of the most fundamentally useless ways of thinking about success that actually go against our biology when it comes to achievement and happiness, success and peace. We are taught to push through pain at any cost, to use pressure to persist, focus on the goal, and do whatever it takes to get there. This is useful if the goal is to not starve to death. But success by any means necessary comes at a remarkable cost to our future self. Our mantra around here is not a penny from pressure, only pleasure. The More Alive podcast exists to lead us into a new way of achieving and replace outdated advice that threaten the dream life that actually makes us feel more alive. I'm your host, Andrea Crowder, mom, truth teller, and lover of daydreaming, here to help create a world where we all feel more alive. Welcome to the show. Jeff Boyd, founder of my new favorite product of maybe in the last decade. I could not wait for this interview to tell. In fact, it's one of those things where you're sitting on gold and you're clenching your hands and you're like, I really want to tell everyone, but I really wanted this to be the debut of my love and obsession for your creation into the world, because I know I just think everyone actually would really love your product, but I really want to share more about your story and how this product came into the world. We'll reveal my secret new obsession as we go. But first of all, welcome to the More Alive podcast.
Thank you. That's that's the best intro I think I've ever had. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
So to give everyone a little bit of background, my friend Tracy had introduced me to, she just started talking about your product when we were sitting at the beach together having a co-working date. And she's like, you have to meet Jeff. He created this great product. And my misinterpretation of what she was telling me was that it was just a really clean electrolyte. And I wasn't getting it when she was describing it to me until Keith tried it, because we had gotten all of the samples. You guys were so lovely to sponsor the Legend Live event, and everybody got some in their gift bags. And I hadn't tried it until the day after, but Keith tried it the day of. And he's like, what was that product that was in the gift bags that I got to try? And it's funny because the morning after the event, I normally have 6 ounces of coffee at the most in the morning. And I accidentally clicked the 4 ounce, and I was like, oh, I'll just click the 4 ounce again. So I had 8 ounces and I unconsciously drank all of it. And I was so anxious, and I thought it was just a hangover from the event. And I don't know what intuitively made me actually pour myself or create an MTE while I was with my team. And I was like, oh, I'll just sip on this. And immediately all of the jitters and the anxiety from having too much caffeine in the morning melted. And I was like, what just happened? What the fuck just happened?
Love that.
And that's when I actually looked and I was I had done a little research on the ingredients, because I too really appreciate a very clean product, but I underestimated what I thought the product was and how I thought I would feel. So tell us, how did this product even come to be? Why am I so obsessed with you and MTE now? Help me to understand.
I love that. Gets me excited. This is makes my week.
Yes.
So, okay, it's a little bit of a long story. I'll just sort of go all over the place here and not make it linear, because that would be too easy. So, first of all, as you're sort of talking about, I had this feeling of the sensation of calmness and smooth and what I just call feeling good. I think that's a product of the 10 ingredients. We can go through them systematically and say, oh, okay, yeah, I know ashwagandha, or I know L-theanine, and as people hear these, many people do know these ingredients. But what we did that's really special, and I'm happy to brag on it, because it really wasn't my brainchild. And I wish it was. I wish I could take the credit. But we put together a team of Ayurvedic formulators, biochemists, nutritionists, and a couple doctors. And and everybody wasn't just sitting in a room. This was like on the heels of COVID. This was just a lot of phone calls and a lot of like just riffing over, hey, we're just thinking about doing this. What do you think about that? And, and that I would take that input and sort of be the vessel to go talk to someone else. And then sometimes we would interconnect. And what we got from it, the punchline is what I'm getting at is the whole is really greater than the sum of the parts here, because
Hmm.
everything is working together and in unison. It sort of knows they play well with others.
Yeah.
And they sort of know, like, just anecdotally, like our adaptogenic profile, which is ashwagandha, maca, and Siberian ginseng. There's three of them for a reason. They're in certain doses so as not to disrupt some of the other elements of the formula, and vice versa. So you get this whole lift where you just really have a euphoric feeling, a functionality that's unmatched. And that was sort of the goal, right? Coming into this. So just to back up, I had a shipping company for almost 20 years. I've always loved supplements. I've always been a big supplement user, just to try to feel best and be best, starting with like
Yeah.
Flintstone vitamins I took in the 80s or whenever,
Sure.
as I got, and then got older and started supplementing to feel better, athletic performance, get stronger, all these things. The supplements have been a part of my life, but backseat obviously to just having a shipping company. So I sold it in 2019, and then COVID hit. So I had plenty of time to sort of contemplate what was next. And the one thing that kept coming back to me was, because I was in that place, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but I was in this place where I could really do anything I wanted. And the only other time I've really felt that way is like when I graduated college, where it's like, all right, it's done. I can do anything I want now, but just let's not screw it up, because I don't want to go 3, 5, 10 years down the road and figure out I'm going down the wrong road. So I was really contemplative about it. And I kept coming back to really wanting to help people feel good and be their best, starting with me.
Yeah.
So as it morphed, I sort of began talking to an old friend. There was a guy that we always bounced supplements off of, and he was sort of my supplement sensei. This guy was always on to something new. I'd call him, and he's like eating
Yeah,
deer antler, all sorts of
yeah,
weird shit. And
we have
every
it in the
time, and
house.
most of it was like
That would be
too
us.
marginal for me. But yeah, you should meet Scott. He's an animal. So I started riffing with him, and I was like, listen, I want to do something that's different, that helps people feel well, be best. And what I'm seeing out there is a lot of silos. If you want energy, obviously that's covered, right? Like in any way. You want the old school Red Bull Monster, all that's there, never going anywhere. If you want the quote unquote healthy energy, where they've sort of thrown in L-theanine, which is the age old trick, or some people now trying to level up with some adaptogenic mushrooms, like those are everywhere. But I felt like, and then the healthier it got, the less it worked, was my experience. And the other thing that really struck me was they're just all like singular. Like it was either energy or healthy energy, but it was just energy, and that's it, right? It didn't do anything to help me be best when I'm energized. So there's no real focus, and the few that had focus stopped there. And then there was nothing about mood, depression, anxiety, just euphoria, motivation, all these things that really kind of, if you're energized, if you have the flu but are somehow propped up on a stimulant, you're still not motivated. You're still not doing anything. You're still miserable, right? And then I wanted to round all that out with something that was good for you, right? That was the final thing, where like I'm a huge believer the two biggest components of our wellness start in our gut and our sleep every night. And so that was sort of revolutionary in the sense that nobody's ever talked about energy on one hand and sleep on the other in a singular product,
Right.
right? Those are usually
Yeah.
as far away from each other as possible in the aisles or in our minds. So we put together this team, and I was like, all right, I have this crazy idea. I want to kind of do this, blah, 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 do all these things. And it's, over 2 years later, over 50 iterations later, launched what the MTE that you tried, which is the MTE last June. And so we have a repeat customer rate of 52% blended. It's 56% on Amazon. And I actually tell the team, I'm like, this should be lower, because it's indicative of the fact that we're not getting enough clients. And
Yeah.
they're like, we are. The people just keep repeating. People love
Yeah.
it. And I just ordered our fourth production run this morning. Like, I can't get them to make it fast enough at this point. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's really exciting, and people are feeling what you're feeling. And I'm like, you can't believe the joy it gives me. It's like It's right below when people tell me how great my kids are.
Mm.
Right? It's like just below that. It's such a
I get
gives me
that.
such a great sense of just fulfillment.
I
So
I
that's the story.
could not. Yeah, I understand that so much. Keith will probably have a little bit more to say on this, but like we too have tried
Mhm.
all of the products independently. We take the L-theanine, we take the ashwagandha, the maca, and we've been on this strain for decade, him much longer. He's been on like a supplement journey since he was a teenager and he's 54. I more so in my like later 20s, but like still there would be like Celsius in the house and like we
Yeah.
just like needed the extra. And he's tried many different like energy products. I was just a coffee girl and I was like, okay, well, I don't generally get anxiety that bad. But as of more recently, now that I think I'm going into like perimenopause. Like my
Yep.
hormones have been a little bit more particular about how much caffeine I can actually have without it making me feel pretty jittery and sharp. Like I feel sharp in my body. I showed the package this morning to my hormone specialist. It was the first time I've had a session with her since a couple weeks ago when I actually tried it. Please forgive all of the background noise with the
That's all right.
dogs.
I have two
But
attack golden doodles that we call them. So
yeah,
I'm sure they'll be
yeah, we
barking
have
at
two
some.
golden doodles as well and a little Maltese. So
Oh, you
it gets
do?
wild when
Oh
the
my
doorbell
God.
rings. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I showed her the box this morning and she's really particular. She's like, you can have your cup of coffee in the morning, but I no coffee after 12. And I couldn't abide by that. I'm like, I'm running a company. Like I need an afternoon cup of coffee until I tried MT and I showed her the box this morning and she ordered it for herself immediately. She's like, these ingredients are so impressive. And she commented about like the wow, does this really like impact your sleep as well? Because all of her clients are like, they really need a clean, hormonal supportive product that's not going to like jack up their cortisol levels. But babe, you can probably speak more on the whole, like even with the kids and
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
Celsius.
I love, by the way, that you've captured two different markets. The two biggest things right now with products are health products and, of course, energy drinks. So kudos for you for grabbing both of those and putting them together into one. And I find it hilarious that Celsius markets
Yeah.
themselves. No offense to Celsius, because I got to tell you, when there wasn't a lot out there that was a healthier version of an energy drink, at least they were attempting at it, but still, as you know, it's filled with yeah, I know.
Honestly, offense to Celsius. I
No,
like hate that.
I know. But at least their effort was there. But
I'm
yes,
not afraid to
it
say
fell
that.
radically short. I love the feel. It's such a kind of like what you were saying, how you've balanced out carefully. And, I'm sure you've had several mad scientist moments, or at least your team of people that were putting this together to balance it out. It's a very steady, calm, and very focused energy. Like Andrew was saying, because you've got
But
between it,
euphoric.
and
Like
what
it
I
really
also
is
love that
euphoric.
you've done is you've broken it down to the layman on the box. You're talking about the different mood blends, what's for mood, what's for energy,
Yeah.
the combination of the adaptogens, the nootropics, and the probiotics all in
Yeah.
one. I mean, that lights my soul on fire, because Andrew will tell you one of my favorite parlor tricks is I take a handful of about 45 supplements, vitamins, all in one shot, by the way. Who has time to take 45 vitamins individually? So I'm taking all this stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you've
Yeah.
done a very, very carefully selected group of ingredients that are creating it. I love L-theanine. I love ashwagandha, anything that's dealing with dopamine. At one point, I thought my cortisol was too high. So we're taking everything under the sun to try to balance that out, and at the same time capture focus, brain health, and energy all in the same spot. And yet we're definitely enjoying it, and to be able to give it to kids, because I mean, I don't know what the if there are any studies about what's going on with the mainstream energy drinks, the Monsters, the Rockstars, and the Red Bull. But oh God, I look at that stuff and I see what it's doing to their nervous systems and their bodies, and why kids aren't able to sleep right now. I love the fact that when I take this, and I've in a unsuccessful mission was trying to find any one of these that doesn't impact my sleep. And even like Kiala, I don't know if you're familiar with that. They're all natural ingredients, and also it's another
Yeah.
energy drink. I tried that, but what I found is I would take that and I'd have a really hard time settling in and coming down at night from that. I would notice that. What I like about yours is head hits the pillow, and I'm not the best
Yeah.
sleeper to begin with, but it is, I feel like it's enhanced it, because the L-theanine and the mood adapters are in there to help balance that out, helping dealing with the dopamine.
Can you talk more
Yeah,
about
well,
that?
Jeff
Like,
could certainly
why?
talk about that, but
I've
it
noticed that for
says it on the
myself
box.
too.
I do have one question though that's been kind of been puzzling to me. What does MTE stand for? Got it. Does it say that? I was
More than energy, because we wanted more than energy. So we wanted to give you something, we wanted to energize, but we also wanted to support all these other things because I
Love it.
felt everything was just done
Yeah,
in a
love
vacuum.
that.
So
Yeah.
and we were actually going to name it More Than Energy, and we couldn't get the trademark. So then we were like, MT it is.
I love it.
I have
Yeah. Help us understand,
so
like, why is this supporting our sleep?
well, I have a lot of comments. First of all, I think you'll find this interesting. I sat next to Dr. Mark Hyman one time at an event, and it was like, I don't know what time it was, noon, 1, 2, something like that. And I looked over and he pulled out a bag. I've never seen so many supplements in my life, and he just housed them. It was just like,
Yeah.
bang. So your story reminded me that I just looked, because I'm with you, Keith. I love my supplements. I've walked them back actually since I created MTE. My supplement stack has gotten quite a bit smaller, but I still love my supplements and primarily with MTE. But I just looked over and I was like, damn, that is impressive. I mean, it was a stack of supplements. So anyway, that is just like a random note. In terms of, okay, so how it works, like what's interesting, first of all, but like we can go down this rabbit hole, but Andrea, I'll tell you, there's an ingredient in MTE that's been clinically studied to support menopausal symptoms, including the physical manifestation. So the heat, right, the uncomfortableness, but also the sleep and the mood. Single ingredient, and these are all like double blind, placebo, randomized, like real studies. Pretty cool.
Is that saffron?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Keith, to your comments and your question, the answer's surprisingly pretty straightforward. I mean, it's like it took us years to figure this out and test it and do all the things. It's the very simple version is we don't use caffeine. I'm not a caffeine hater. Like I just had an Americano. Like
Okay.
I did Dave Asprey's podcast a couple of weeks ago, and he literally sat down and he goes, Jeff, why do you hate caffeine so much? And I was like, I don't hate caffeine. Right? And he's like, oh, I thought you did. I'm like, no, like if you don't like caffeine or you have a problem with caffeine, MTE is an amazing solution. But more pointedly, it's can be added to any routine. And that's what I think is so cool about it. And what the reason why is, like to Keith's comments, we don't use caffeine. We use a derivative of caffeine, which is paraxanthine, so which clears out of your body much faster. The half-life is much lower than caffeine. So, and it also doesn't have, caffeine has 3 properties. When your body breaks it down, it's much like anything else. It breaks it down into smaller components. Like alcohol doesn't just go in as alcohol and then come out as urine, right? It's like it's broken down, and many times food, we know is ultimately broken down to glucose when possible. Caffeine's the same. It's broken down into 3 compounds, the greatest of which is paraxanthine. And paraxanthine is responsible for all of what we associate the good with caffeine. So the energy, the focus, the mood, the dopamine, and then the bad. So the cortisol, things like that are sort of isolated in the other 2 compounds in caffeine. So the biochemists that really helped us and had some conversations and really in this compound spoon fed that to me. And it was like, it's going to change things for you. You have to just try it. I'm like, yeah. But what about this? He's like, dude, just stop talking. I'm going to send you some to try it. And as soon as I tried it, I was like, oh, and now I get it. So as I learned, and then I went down the rabbit hole and learned, okay, it clears out of the system faster. So now you have less interruption and less obstacles to all of the other things that help set you up for better sleep. Chief among them, the adaptogens. So any daily stressors are, you're handled much better. Your ability to focus is greater. So you're spinning your wheels less. Your mood is lifted. And again, these are like clinically studied. Your mood is lifted. So even if you're not walking around going, I'm clinically fill in the blank, right? Anxious, depressed, you name it. We all have a measure of that to some degree. It's just modern life, right? You have your highs, your lows, you have your stressors. Even if you don't walk around feeling you're stressed, just living in a city is stressful, frankly. Like some of the nervous system goes into fight or flight from all the people, the loud noises, tall buildings. Like as silly as it sounds, these things keep us on a low burn, as opposed to like you go live in the woods. It's different. I mean, it truly is.
Yeah.
So the adaptogens sort of help smooth that out and blaze the trail. And then the mood lift combined with the fact that the thing that is propping your energy up has a half-life much shorter. So it's exiting your system much faster. And then theanine to kind of smooth out even further, GABA, which is a big mood modulator, neurotransmitter. And then the saffron actually, once you are asleep, is clinically studied to help you sleep better. So it's a really cool phenomenon because a lot of times people associate sleep with getting to sleep, right? And this is not getting to sleep. This is so you're not going to be drowsy or you can't be confused. But once you are asleep, you're going to get better sleep, faster to REM, more restful. So it's really kind of a cool trailblaze and obviously it tonifies adrenals. It's helping reduce stress. It's helping reduce low mood. So all of these things that sap your energy daily are also being built up. So a lot of it is a combination of what we're giving you and your body actually, I don't want to say healing, but I'll say healing and kind of repairing itself and leveling up and being able to energize more naturally.
Yeah. I don't know very many women in my world who don't struggle with like cortisol and hormonal issues. And I've been hearing Dr. Amen is one of my favorite doctors that I love to follow for brain health. Keith and I both love him. And he has been just like touting saffron a ton and in terms of like overall brain health. And for me, I have ADHD and I have noticed a very significant difference in my ability to focus and get started on projects. Once I'm in there, like hyper focus kicks in and I'm there for like 12 hours and I forget to eat sometimes, but like getting the beginning of like the focus has been a challenge for me pretty much my entire life. That has significantly been different. The mood thing, I'm already like a very happy person. Nervous system regulation is my thing. It is what I'm known for. And I'm very like energetically consistently stable. So I would say like my baseline is already at an 8 in terms of being like a generally like happy, like good demeanor human. But it is significant, the euphoric feeling that you feel with this product. It like took me like a whoosh and I was like, I did a lot of drugs when I was younger. So I'm I can be honest about the fact that I have tried some euphoric products before and this being what I was like, wow. Like if you guys do a friends and family raise, count me in. I just was like so blown away. I cannot say enough good things. I told Keith, I was like, this interview isn't really going to be an interview. It's just going to be us talking about how awesome your product is. It'll be one.
I'll echo that.
One big fat
similar
commercial.
to Andrea, I've got a pretty
I love it.
Pretty upbeat demeanor. I'm pretty steady and don't let a lot ruffle that. But on a personal note, the last couple months have been a little overwhelming. Started a new business with a new job as well. So it's been a lot to take down. And there was a week there, Andrea could speak to this, where I was just, my cup runneth over, and then I was
cup.
Popping the MTE and even the kids even looked at me and said, Dad, what's with you? Like we know you're having a tough week and all of a sudden you just completely bounced out of it. Dana looked at me and said, did you sneak one of my gummies or something? I said, no, honey, just back on the good powder. It's a very nice uplift with the energy as well. It's definitely been welcome. Yeah.
We ran out of you for like 3 days because Amazon said that the package was going to be here the next day. And then all of a sudden something happened with the shipping where it was like, it was going to be 2 weeks. And so I went through and I like canceled that order and then I reordered 2 more boxes that luckily were here 2 days later. But I'm like, there was 3 days in this household where there was no MTE and we all fucking felt it. We're like, this is so sad.
I got to tell you something. I don't know what happened, but I just have in the course of doing business and growing a brand, sometimes you just get an immediate, like, we got to get a sample to this person or this or anyway, one day I went in, my wife is, an avid user. And I was about to say, obviously an avid user, but there's no gimme. Like she thinks for herself. I can tell you that. And she's like, had the same reaction you did. She was like, oh my God, you've created this something like she's running and drinking it before I am usually. And so I went in one morning and we were out. Like normally, at this moment, there's like, I don't know, 100 boxes of MT laying around my house. So like the fact that we were out is just like, I was like, there's no way we're out checking my office. I mean, we had no MTE here. So I went to, they carry it at my favorite smoothie place here where I live. And I went in there. I was like, you guys have any MTE? Like a crack addict. And they know I own the brand. They're like, yeah. And I was like, you got to make me one. They're like,
Yeah.
what's wrong
We
Oh
were
my
with you?
literally jumping off
God.
the floor in
Yeah.
joy
It's
when
so
the box
real.
came in yesterday.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You guys are making
We've
my week.
We're only 3 boxes in, and we just had our very first sample on like the 27th of last month. So we're
And I'll
just
tell you,
like,
yesterday was
You're like
cannot
we
live
are.
our
without
biggest
every
test
day for the
ever.
rest of our lives.
I've been riding around all day. It was a long day, and we had to go a good hour drive down south to meet my family for celebrate a birthday dinner with my father. And I looked at Andrea. I said, "Honey, I am beat. I've got nothing in me. I don't know how I'm going to do this. This is the true test of this stuff right now because I had nothing in me." And I got to tell you, by the time I got down there and it kicked in, I was like, man, I was blown away. I felt good. I felt energized. When I get tired, I don't know how you get, Jeff, but like my personality just leaves me. I sit back and I can become almost introverted, and to know me is to know that it is
Yeah.
not who I am.
Yeah.
So I call good caffeinated drinks my hero juice. If I need it, it gets me,
Totally.
it keeps me up and elevated. And yeah, it was great. It was great. Got me through the night.
Yeah.
Came back, head hit the pillow, and had no problem.
What's the impact with this product, either on cortisol or not on cortisol? Like, how does it impact us there?
Well, I think the beauty is there's no caffeine, right? Which spikes your cortisol, right? Temporarily. So the absence of that already gives you a massive head start, right? Like an insane head start. Then you put in not one, not two, but 3 adaptogens, right? And now you have an adaptogenic profile that helps your body regulate your stress as it comes and will modify the cortisol release, right, to a commensurate amount with what is, really healthy versus, like clearly if you have, there's outline examples in everything, but day to day, it helps having, that's what I've always said. And this is sort of the basis of really one of the pillars of the initial formulations. I was like, we can't support stress response, better sleep at night, right? And some of these other things if we have caffeine in the formula, right? Like, whether I like caffeine, hate caffeine, anything else, in my mind, it's a scientific fact. And because that's one of the reactions that caffeine puts on your system. Now, it's also a byproduct of why it energizes things like that. So it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? That's a whole other conversation. But in the context of MTE, that gives you the head start, and then the adaptogenic profile. And then for me, I think the GABA and the theanine less on cortisol, but the GABA gives, for me, is calming. And for me, a calm mind is a mind that is not telling your body to produce a bunch of cortisol, right? So it's I think it's significant. And I mirror you guys. I'm almost always in a good mood. Like, my wife says I'm moody, but I'm like, if I'm not moody, it's because you put me in a bad mood.
The personal responsibility in that statement, sir. I stand for your wife here.
I know. I can't even say it with a straight face, but yeah, I'm usually in a great mood. Ironically, I'm usually always have ample energy. For me, the real power of MTE is taking my focus and just putting it on like a rocket. I mean, I'm like, I go like, and I don't have ADHD. Like, I can sit down and focus, but I just turn into like, I feel like Bradley Cooper and Limitless. I mean, I just sit down, I'm just locked in.
Yes.
And then the health properties, right? Like, having boosted gut health, helping reduce my stress. I mean, I don't deal with stress well for some reason. I had high blood pressure at one point, and I've always been in great shape and exercised and ate right, and the whole thing. And it was really just stress driven, cortisol driven, right? So it was important to me.
I just have a big vision to see this in like stock. I want to see hospitals stock this. I want to see police stations stock this, fire stations stock this, like this. Yeah.
Agreed. I have a guy we're working on with trying to get it in the military right now too. Because I just feel like they're the largest group of energy drink users in the country. And I'm like, let's get them some energy, but let's also get them the focus, the mood. I mean, all these things are important in the military, first responders. I mean,
absolutely.
Like, I think it's a home run. And when we see it, I mean, we hear this is like a virus to the good, right? Like what you guys have happened. Like, one guy will get it on the SWAT team, as an example. This just happened, and now he's got the whole team is on it like a week later. I mean, they're all just like, holy shit, how have we gotten this far in our lives without MTE? I mean, it's just changes.
Or I was thinking even Congress.
Like
imagine infusing them with an enormous amount of dopamine, or maybe our executive branch. That'd be wonderful. I'm not going to go down that road. Yeah. No, but where
Such
I was
a good
funny, I was
point.
pivoting right to that, like with your marketing. I mean, I know you're of course, running a business, but I also feel like it's in some line doing some of God's work. I'm just thinking of the application with students, high schoolers, legions, they're always struggling with energy, focus. There's an epidemic of insomnia because serotonin is regulated by the amount of sunlight you're getting, and kids are going from school and side they're not outside on their phones constantly, and they're living off caffeine and energy drinks. Just love the idea of kids putting down the caffeine, and high school to college, all of it. And just curious if you're looking at that as a target and finding ways to penetrate those markets.
Well, there's so many answers to this. Like, let me just start with the classic. All of these drinks, whether it's Red Bull or Monster, Celsius, MT included, are for 18 and up. Like that's like full stop, conversation's over. Now, because there's stimulants and there's different things. Now, like, we could get into reality and know that, like, my daughter's 14, not even in high school yet. And every one of her friends are just crushing Celsius and Alani's and all this other shit. And I just can't, it just blows my mind for all the reasons that you've articulated. So the challenge for the youth is taste is so important. And so I'm really excited. I'm excited. I've been thinking about this the whole time. Like, I want to get you guys this box. This production run that we're wrapping up right now is our new mango pineapple. We've been out.
I'm drinking it.
You are? You're drinking the old one.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
See, that's the good stuff.
Oh, really? I don't know.
I mean, believe me, that's the good stuff. But it's the new one is even like, because that has a functional, like, tastes great, but it's functional. The new mango pineapple is like, it's
with
like
kids, that it's everything.
It's pretty damn good. And so I think this unlocks it. And then our lemon, lime, mandarin orange, we've reformulated those to be much lighter, better mouthfeel, like sweet, but not too sweet. Like, I think we've cracked the code. And then now you have, because you're right, like you said, an epidemic of different things. But there's also an epidemic of drug use to mitigate these things. I mean, people are just casually passing around Adderalls and just, I got to study. I'll just pop, you got any Adderall? I mean, it's like, I have a headache. Do you have a Tylenol? I mean, it's like, it's so casual, which is insane to me. I mean, this is like a prescribed drug that, it's when you have something like MTE out there that's like going to give you 14 benefits to your well-being, plus focus and the energy and all the things. I think, like, let me just put it to you this way. I think 18-year-olds and 18-year-old in 1 day and beyond could see a lot of benefit using MTE. And we're getting it certified for sport. So we're going to take that to college athletics, Olympians. We already have a couple Olympians that use it. They're retired, but they're Olympic gold medalists, and they love it. So I think we've got, like, the world, we have a huge opportunity, and we're like, it keeps me energized every day. Like, I mean, these sayings are ridiculous. I'm 50, so I feel like I'm turning into the stereotype. So I like started making these stupid phrases my grandparents used to say, things like that. I'm like, now I'm becoming that. And it's magnified by the fact that I have a 14 and 11-year-old both standing by to roll their eyes at me. And I feel like when you do something you love, you don't work a day in your life. And that's how I feel with MTM. It's just like, I just feel, if anything that's not positive, I feel so joyful and grateful and everything else. But I feel almost a responsibility to get this out to help people, because it really can. And I see what people are doing for help right now. It's like they don't know where to turn, and they're turning to things that are hurting them and they may be putting a Band-Aid here, but it's opening up 2 more wounds somewhere else. And, you have something like this out there that could be so impactful to the good. So we're like, couldn't tell you how excited I am to go out and just spread the word.
Yeah. I mean, same with me. My son has really struggled with focus issues. The majority of his life has pretty severe ADHD. And I just gave him his first packet the other day. I keep texting him. I'm like, I should have actually just made him try it in front of me. I think that's my new strategy, when I'm just going to keep it in my pocket, in my purse, and like shake it up for someone and be like, drink it. I want to watch you drink every drop. Just like, you can't leave my sight until I've seen you consume every drop, because I know by the time you're done, you're going to be like, what the fuck is this? Like
Yeah,
I've
totally.
literally, one of my friends who's been on my podcast, and she's a big influencer, but we've never met in person until yesterday, and she's from Canada. And so she actually
Oh,
just happened to move to Florida, and so we got to meet each other in person for the very first time yesterday, and we met at a coffee shop, and instantly I was like, "Have you heard of MTE?" 15 minutes later, she's like, "I'm going to email the company and tell them how much time you
yeah.
just spent selling me on their product." And I was like, "Don't
Yes.
worry, I have a podcast interview with the founder tomorrow."
Let's go.
He'll
I
see.
love it.
He'll see. It's like, you guys, I forget right now that there's actually people listening to this. So, like, obviously you can tell, like, I'm bought in, but you just have to try it for yourself. There's no way that you're going to know. And I know you guys have a risk-free trial where people can try it, and if they don't like it, they can return it, correct?
Totally. Yeah. And you have 90 days. So we send you on the 24 pack. Obviously, I use it daily. It sounds like you guys do too. I think that's the
We
best
do.
use case. But you can use it, because some of these benefits accumulate, particularly the studies on saffron. Those are over 7, 14, sometimes even 30 days in terms of like the better sleep and some of the mood modulation, certainly to perimenopause and things like that. But the energy, like within minutes, certainly, right? So we give people, you have 24 days, use it every day, use it over 90 days, like whatever. We recognize everybody's different. Sometimes what's very important to me is I run the business like I want to be treated, right? And so it's like clearly, we're trying to make money, and at the end of the day, we have bills to pay, and that has to factor into it. But what's more important to me is running a brand like I want to be treated and having integrity. So 100%, if it doesn't work for you, it's like, it's no questions. You don't have to explain yourself. You just tell us you want a refund, but you
Yeah.
won't. You won't. You're gonna love it.
You won't.
Yeah.
I can say
Stock
with
up on it, because
absolute
when you
fucking
run out, you
certainty,
feel it.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah. Yeah.
it takes no time for you to be impressed. Like, it is one of those things where, like, in business, your job is like, get someone a result right away.
Yeah.
And you guys have really done that. And you guys gave us an awesome discount code to share with our community. So we'll drop that in the description with links and all the places for people to try it. If you guys are local in my area, just stop by.
I love the
And
packaging as
we'll
well.
have one
Someone that
together.
spent about
Love
75%
that.
of my
I love
professional
that.
life on the road because I travel. I love the grab and go and the single serving. So it's great. You can just walk out of the house, easily drop it in a water bottle.
Yeah.
You're at a restaurant, drop it in a glass on the table. It's great that it's just easy single serving to grab and go. I find myself,
Same.
like with a lot of other stuff, if I'm going on the road for 5 days, I'm scooping it in the Ziploc bags, frigging the scoopers, so I have the right amount. It's great to get single serving packaging.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you
Agree.
like that. It's like everything we've done is purposeful. Like I can tell you the packaging. When I started the brand, blue's my favorite color. One time I was out riding my bike and I had like a blue helmet, blue shirt, blue shorts, and I ran into this guy. I never met him. I ran into him. We started talking, and he goes, "Man, you like the color blue?" I was like, so anyway, so I started having the design team design it as blue, and it came back and it just didn't feel natural to me. It just felt like, clearly the sky is blue, blueberries, but largely like it just didn't speak nature to me. And I lived in Miami at the time. And so I walked out. The first thing I did when we bought our house is just planted like as many fruit bearing trees as we could get on the property. So I had avocado and mango and key lime and regular lime and blood orange, and on it went, bananas. And I went out to get an orange off my tree. And I've always been struck by how oranges are green up until like the last 2 days. And then, then they have that massive contrast because the tree or whatever is bright green. And I went out and I was like, that's it. That's nature to me. It's just the beauty of the orange and the green and the contrast and how the orange just pops against this green. It's beautiful. So I walked back in and called him and said, the new colors are orange and green now. And so that's sort of the benefit. That's why we're orange and green. And then the reason we're a powder and not a pill or anything else is I wanted to put it in water. I think most of the country and most of the world is dehydrated. So this gives us another excuse to hydrate, put something good in our system in a vessel. And I didn't want to do it in an RTD, which stands for ready to drink, which is obviously a bunch of water, because then, and first of all, it's a different product, but also you have to put preservatives in it.
Right.
So whereas this, you can use your own water, and if you don't want it in water, you can mix it in your smoothie, or some people mix it in with their electrolytes, or whatever. It just gives us some flexibility. So all of this is sort of all very purposeful, and that's why we do the individual sticks too, because I travel a lot, I'm on the move a lot. And I used to travel the whole bag of supplements, which was a pain in the ass, to say the
Yeah.
least. So yeah, I love that.
Are you guys still in Miami
No,
or
we
in Florida?
left. We bought a ranch in Texas. So
Oh, fun.
yeah, we're building our dream home now,
Congrats.
and like getting horses. And I mentioned I just turned 50. A couple of friends of mine got me a donkey.
Got to be a story behind that.
That's awesome.
We came down from New York. We were in New York for many, many years and moved we sold our businesses. My wife's also an entrepreneur. So she sold her business in early 19. I sold mine in late 19. And then we just decided we wanted to go chase quality of life. And like, where is it better than South Florida? So we went down and loved it. I mean, loved it. It was such an amazing time and place. But we got kind of greedy. We were like, man, if some is good, like, let's go get a whole ranch and spread out even more. And
Yeah.
so that's what we did.
Well, congrats. Well, I just want to say your product does a lot for a lot of people, but the anxiety crisis that is in this world that I see the most when I work with people, you guys have made such a significant dent in it. So first of all, thank you. And for anybody listening, if you know anyone, take advantage of that risk-free trial. I'm telling you, you'll be a superhero friend by sharing this product with them. It's going to be one of those moments where like you just can't believe how good it is until you've tried it, and then like you're sold on day one. But like you've got to get to that point where you try it. And I'm telling you guys, you will be that superhero friend. Like I've been in my friend group now, and Keith is now in his friend group of not just trying this product for yourself and adopting it into your family, but sharing it with your friends, because the noticeable difference of like it melted that like coffee anxiousness that day instantaneously. I know legally you guys can't say stuff like that, but I can. So I'll say it for you.
Yeah,
And I
love
hope
it.
everyone hears that. And if you want to be that superhero friend, like take MTE, share it for yourself, and grab that discount code in the show notes. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for your service to this
Doing
world.
God's
We're
work.
so fucking thrilled that we know you and we know your product.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you guys. This is incredible. This is like an infomercial. I feel like so grateful that we found each other.
Once I love something, I like shake people until they try it.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm the same in like people, and particularly when you live in places like New York or South Florida, like people want to come visit you a lot. So a lot of friends are coming in, and and then they'll just always look over and like, what are you mixing up? What are you making? What do you got now? What's that for? What, and then they don't really, the conversation's over and you move on, and then that's it. And life happens. And then I go see them at their house, or I'll meet them on a trip or something. And all of a sudden they're taking it. Then I'm like, there we go. That's my boy. So
yep.
I know.
Try it once, you're done.
Totally.
Us too.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited we found
Jeff.
each other. I wish we could see you. Like, I don't live there anymore, but I'm there a lot. So next time I'm there, like I had a near miss with Tracy. We just couldn't get our schedules lined up. Then I had to run home. I coach one of my son's football teams, so I had to get back for a game. But I'm there quite a bit. So
I'd love to.
I'll look you guys up for sure. I'd love to go hang. It'll be fun.
We would love that. We'll get Tracy looped into it, and we'll do a dinner or something like that.
Cool. Yeah, I love that.
Jeff, amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story and this product and your love and your passion and your authenticity, and most importantly, how clean and ethical you guys are with our community. We really appreciate that.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of More Live. But you already know the conversation doesn't end here. In fact, if you check the show notes, you will see that there's a link where you can essentially leave us a voicemail. You can comment on today's episode, tell us what was your mic drop moment, and you can also ask questions. Your audio might be featured on a future More Live episode. So also, if something in today's episode really hit home with you, share it. Think about somebody who might need to hear that. And you guys already know, I love chatting with you guys in the DMs. So come over to Instagram, slide into my DMs, and tell me what hit hardest today. I want to hear from you. And if you want to keep this energy going, you already know, let's make this official. Subscribe, leave a review, and let's turn this shit into a movement, because the more live you feel, the more live the world becomes.